Another video, and today we are going to do our stock market weekly breakdown where we're going to look at the NAS100, the US30, SNP500, as well as gold and oil from a technical perspective. Now, if you are new here, a sub would be appreciated as I provide valuable educational content on a daily basis. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and as always, just let me know down in the comments below exactly what it is that you would like for me to cover in my next video. Now, first we need to see what the fundamental data we had that came through for last week. We don't need to go and look at all the data. So we had the consumer confidence, which I have spoken about and gave you guys an indication what that means. We had the core PCE that came through, which is the personal consumption expenditure, which shows how Americans collectively spend their money, and that is tracked month over month. It came through at 0.3%. We also had the US PMI, which is the Purchasing Managers Index, which is a measure of the prevailing direction of economic trends in manufacturing. It also says a survey of supply chain managers across 19 industries covering both upstream and downstream activity all came through negative, and that is exactly why we saw the stock market as well as gold all closed in the green. The US30 was up 1%, S&P up 1 to 2%, Nasdaq almost 1%. We had a 0.12% there for gold, and oil is another story for another day. But we're going to start with the Nasdaq 100. Starting here on the monthly time frame, we can see the market printed a strong level of resistance, broke above that, came to test it as support. Support did not hold. All of that support, my friends, is once again turned resistance, giving us an indication that we can expect the market to continue bullish before we could potentially see a move to the downside. The market also printed an equal low, holding that monthly support, giving us a further confirmation that we can expect the market to continue higher before a potential move to the downside. Now, here on the weekly time frame, what do we see? Now, from a weekly perspective, we can see this level over here acted as a level of support. Now, once support gets broken and then become a resistance, where the market then broke above this level of resistance, came back to test it as support. Support did not hold. We could have expected that move to the upside. However, that is not what happened. So based off where we are now, it would be good for us to get above that level and then, just continue this move to the upside. I'm going to just place an array tool over here because we are going to use that as a long-term target. Now, from a daily perspective, what do we see? Now, here on the daily time frame, the market had printed this head and shoulders pattern, which is considered a bearish pattern from a technical perspective. We had that meltdown to the downside, market printed an equal low. The structure that we are faced with now is this very important structural level that you can see over here, which is also the left shoulder and the right shoulder. This level over here acted as a strong level of support. Resistance broke above that, came to test it. Support did not hold, became resistance. Mark broke below that, created an equal low, and all of that support is now once again turned resistance there as well. Now, the best way to approach the situation, because we are looking for some buying opportunities, is obviously for the market to break above the strong level of resistance, and once resistance gets broken, that would then become support. So on the retest, we can then start looking for those buying opportunities for the market to go and hit that previous level of resistance, of support that is now turned resistance, as identified from a monthly perspective. We need to get a clear daily break above this level in order to confirm this move to the upside. Alternatively, if we do get to this level and that level of resistance doesn't hold, then we can definitely expect the market to make a U-turn. But however, I do see the market complete this move to the upside there first. Next up, we do have the US30 or the Dow Jones. We got similar price action, not similar price action over here. We do have the Dow Jones broken above this strong level of resistance, came back, tested as support held twice. Market also printed an equal low from a monthly perspective. We do have this consolidation market that the market had been stuck in for quite some time. Finally broke above that, came to test it, then started to melt to the downside. There's definitely a pullback expected. Now, the pullback is expected to at least a 0.382 of the Fibonacci taken on this massive impulse, because you expect a correction. If you take a Fibonacci from the high to the low, you can see we've got a 0.382 there, but it doesn't line up with the structure that we need to identify in the market. So we are going to look for that level as a target level in the market. Now, here on the daily, here on the weekly time frame, what do we see? Now, on the weekly time frame, you can see that we have a very strong level of structure that's lining up perfectly with that. We also have this structural level over here that the market had also gone and broke below and also broke above, and we can see there was a gap that the market had to fill. Once the gap was filled, the market then started to make that U-turn. However, I would probably see the same price action take place here on Monday based off the technical based off the technical perspective. Now, so it's quite interesting that we have here on the US30 is that firstly we can see this level over here acted as a strong level of resistance. Market broke above that, came to test it as support. The market had now also found this level over here. Now this level is also acting as a level of resistance. Now this level over here also my friends, is now also acting as a strong level of resistance. Now there is a possibility that we could potentially see the market start moving sideways. Now the best way to approach the situation, as I said before, we are looking to buy this market to the 0.5 to the 0.50 that is allocated at this level over here, which is also the previous level of support, the support that is now turned resistance. So this is what we ideally would like to see. It's for clear break above that level, and then on the retest we can then start looking for those buying opportunities. In doing so, with the market then also print this inverted head and shoulders pattern, which is considered a bullish pattern from a technical perspective. Next up, we do have the SNP500. The SNP500 printed the same price action as the NASDAQ, so I'm not going to go through this entire breakdown. Now if you look on the daily time frame, we can see that the market is now also stuck in between the strong level of resistance that got broken, that is now turned support, and this level of resistance if you look slightly left over here as well. Now again, the best way to approach the situation is to obviously wait for the market to break above, because we did not get the break that we are looking for. A clear daily break and close above that level would then give us a confirmation to look for a nice buying opportunity for the market to go and hit that previous high over there. We could potentially see the market continue even further up to go and hit that level, unless, well, up until we get those NFP data, which is also going to be negative on Friday. Don't ask me how I know, my friends. Next up, so we also do have this opportunity for the market to move sideways, or the market could potentially just dump all the way back. It all depends on investor sentiment. Based off the data that we receive, that is where we are with that now. Gold also had a massive massive liquidity grab here to the downside. We can see here the market created an equal, or more than an equal low. Some people will call it a double bottom, but in any case, so what we got over here is we do have the market that had actually pulled back and closed above that level. Now this level over here acted as a strong level of support got broken, and it's now in resistance. We are going to use that as a long-term buying opportunity, not a long-term, but a buying opportunity on gold. Also, if we go back here on the monthly time frame, I'm working backwards now, but this is also a structural level that acted as resistance over there. Support got broken, market broke below that level, and once again you can see how all of the price actions lining up perfectly once again. So we can definitely expect gold to continue higher going into next week. I guess it's important that we just monitor price action once we get to this level and see exactly what it is that we want to do once we get here, there as well. Next up, we do have US oil. Now US oil, I've not been focused on that much for the past weeks over here, but I've always said that we expected, I said this in March, and I said that we could always expect the market to go and fill in that candle over there, which the market had not done yet. And if we go straight down on the daily time frame, what do we see? Now the price action is quite choppy over here, so this would probably be the area that we need to watch out for. Now there is a possibility that at the market open that we could potentially see the market move to the downside, because we're trading in bearish territory. You can see the market is just printing and breaking these structures, so it'd be good for us to see what kind of price action. But looking at what I can see from where we are now, I definitely pullback expected to that level, to the downside there as well. Then from there we could potentially start monitoring the price action from there as well. Now guys, I want to say thank you so much for your time, and before we continue, also just want to go and run through what fundamental data we do have for the dollar index next week. We have the JOLTS job openings, we have got FOMC, we've got the ADP, and I'll do a breakdown for you guys, so forecast on the NFP before it gets released. I just need to get the ADP data there as well. Now I want to say thank you so much for your time, and as always, cheers for years.